Hey everybody, let's talk about systems today. Almost every time somebody comes to me and says, hey Mike, I'm having trouble in this area of my business. One of my first questions to them is always, so what are you doing today? How are you approaching this problem today? And a lot of times they kind of dance around the subject, and ultimately it just comes down to not having a system. There's not a process in place. So think about that. When you look at your business, let's look at sales, for example. If you don't have a good sales process, you can't hire effective BD people to go and do sales for you, and you can't measure their effectiveness because you don't know how to do it. You just look at the numbers and go, well, it must not be working because I'm not getting the numbers I want. Well, what if they don't have a system and they're just haphazardly doing it just like you were? That's a problem. So let's look at another area. Let's say you want to hire an assistant. Well, what's the assistant going to do for you? If you are only going to hire that assistant to manage your calendar, probably don't need a whole lot of systems for that, but you probably need a couple. Hey, I'm only available on these dates, these times, for this amount of time. Guess what that's called? That's called a system. It's called a system. And so if you don't give that information to your assistant, how frustrating is it going to be if they're always booking you when you don't want to be booked? They're booking you for an hour when you only want to take 20-minute meetings. It's frustrating. But without the system, they don't know any better. So think about that. Without the system, you and your team don't know any better. You just function haphazardly. So we put these systems in place to solve problems like this. Let's go back to the assistant one again. Systems don't have to be complex. Let me say that again. Systems don't have to be complex. You may simply tell your assistant, I'm only available Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 8 to 10 a.m. and on Wednesday from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. Those are the only times I'm available. And in addition to that, I only want to take 15 to 20-minute meetings. That's it. That's a system. And it wasn't that hard. You've now given the guidance. You can write it up in a quick note, give it to your assistant and say, this is how I want you to follow that. You've just built your first system. So look at other areas of your business like that where you're not happy with the production that's happening in them, and look to the system. We look to the process that our team is following before we look at the team and say, hey, you're broken. It's usually the process that's broken. And so the people are just following whatever because they need to do something in order to do their job. So they're just doing whatever. So let's look to the systems that we have in place and make system corrections so that the people can follow the systems. Now, if the people don't follow the systems, now you've got a people problem. But now you can actually identify what's going on, what's right, what's wrong, and you can make adjustments. So look at your business in any area that you're not happy with. Let's look at the systems that people are following, the processes that they're using. If those things are not outlined, there's a good chance you're not going to be happy with the results. If you have questions about this, as always, you know how to reach me. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments on this, and we'll see you next time.